If a verified creator with millions of followers slid into your DMs right now and said they saw something in you, would you keep reading? I did. And I want to tell you exactly what happened next, because it could save you thousands of dollars and months of frustration. Because what I learned from that conversation is something the coaching industry has every incentive to make sure you never figure out. There's a gap inside the amplification gap, and it's the most expensive gap in the entire creator economy. Not because of what it costs you to enter it, but because of what it costs you to stay in it. I'm Kelly Lorraine. This is Watch Me Build Social. And this is the video I wish somebody had made before that DM landed in my inbox. Let's get into it. To understand why that DM hit the way it did, you need to understand where I was. I had a real audience across 4 platforms, a community that showed up consistently, people who engaged, came back, shared, and told me that what I was building mattered to them. I'd left an 18-year teaching career to build in the creator space, and I had real proof it was working. But I'd hit that ceiling. You know the one. Not a dramatic crash, not a crisis moment, just that quiet, suffocating plateau where you're doing everything right, posting consistently, showing up every single day, serving your audience, and the growth inside your community is real, but the reach beyond it has completely stopped. And I want to be honest about what that actually feels like, because it's not dramatic, it's quiet. It's posting something you're proud of and watching the numbers land in the exact same place they always land. It's trying something new and getting the same result. It's that slow, quiet erosion of belief in something you've worked too hard to stop believing in. That's the amplification gap from the inside. And when you're living in that feeling, and a verified account with a name and face you recognize slides into your DMs, your first thought isn't skepticism. Your first thought is, they must see something in me. And that feeling right there, that's what I want to talk to you about today. Here's the first thing I want you to know about that conversation. It wasn't the creator. It was a team member operating from the creator's verified account. And that was never disclosed to me. Not once. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, not at the end. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that's illegal. Teams run outreach. That's a real and common business practice. But here's why it matters more than most people realize. That feeling, they must see something in me, was built entirely on the assumption that I was talking to the person whose name and face was on the account. Someone who had actually looked at what I was building and personally decided to reach out. That's not what was happening. What was happening was a sales process, a well-designed, warm conversational sales process, but a sales process, run by a team with a script and a close. I was aware enough to recognize it, but I keep thinking about the creator who isn't. The one who's been plateaued for 2 years, whose confidence has been quietly eroding, who sees that verified name and face in their inbox and thinks, finally, someone at that level actually sees me. That person deserves to know what they're actually in. And if you're building a brand around transparency, the bare minimum is being transparent about who is actually typing. If you've ever been approached by one of these elite creators selling high-ticket coaching, here are some questions to ask before buying. Ask them, who am I talking to? Is it the face of the brand or one of their team members? If someone reaches out from a recognizable account and never once says, hi, I'm a team member, that silence is a choice, not an accident. You're allowed to ask directly. You deserve a straight answer. Tip number 2. Watch what happens when you ask a specific question. I asked the same specific question 3 different times. How does the amplification actually happen inside this program? 3 times I got enthusiasm. 3 times I got momentum. 3 times I got language that sounded exactly like an answer. Not one actual answer. When specificity gets met with energy instead of information, you're being closed, not helped. Tip number 3, ask yourself, do you feel clearer or more confused by the end? Real coaching makes your problem feel more defined when it's over. You should be able to understand, here is exactly what I'm getting and exactly how it solves my specific problem. If you can't, that's not a you problem, that's a them problem. Finally, does their solution actually match your ceiling? Not your general situation. Your specific ceiling right now. Does every single thing being offered address that, or a more general version of it? General solutions don't close specific gaps. They never have. Now here's the reframe that changed everything for me. The conversation was never designed to find out if the program was right for me. It was designed to find out if I was right for the program. Those are two very different things, and only one of them serves you. Here's something about me that's relevant to this story. Outside of what I build here, I do real coaching work. I work with people in corporate environments, people running businesses, people navigating that place where personal and professional life collide. Because those two things are always connected. When one is struggling, the other feels it. In that work, the first thing I do is listen. Not to build rapport, to actually hear what's underneath what they're saying. Because people tell themselves the same story over and over until they believe it. My job is to look at their situation from angles they can't see. To name what's actually in the way, not a general version of it. The specific thing, the root of it. That's what real coaching feels like. You leave more clear, not more inspired, more clear. So when that program document came through, I read it the same way I read a client's situation, and something felt off immediately. It was trying to be warm, but it felt mechanical, heavily branded, trademark symbols on every framework name, bold promises, language designed to feel significant and personal. But it wasn't naming my ceiling, it was speaking to a general version of stuck, dressed up to feel like it was made specifically for you when it was actually made for everyone. And I've learned in my own work, language that tries to sound important is almost always hiding the fact that it isn't specific enough to actually help you. If you can't name my exact gap, you cannot close it. Here's what I've come to understand about most high-ticket coaching programs. They're built for one of two people. The first person needs clarity on their vision, a system for daily action, the reminder that focus matters. That's genuinely valuable for that person at that stage. The second person has a business and needs to scale its operations. Revenue, sales, team, also genuinely valuable for that person at that stage. But neither of those people is the mid-tier creator. The mid-tier creator already has the clarity. They've been showing up for years. They have a real audience, real engagement, and a specific structural ceiling that has nothing to do with mindset or motivation. Their ceiling is amplification, distribution, getting their message in front of audiences they haven't reached yet. And most high-ticket programs, even the well-intentioned ones, weren't built for that ceiling. They were built for ceilings that came before it. So when a mid-tier creator invests in a program designed for an earlier problem, they don't get a transformation. They get information they already have, delivered in a group format at a significant price point with no guarantee their specific ceiling ever gets addressed. High-ticket coaching isn't a scam. It's a solution, just not always to your problem. And the industry has no system for telling you the difference, because telling you the difference would mean losing the sale. That is the gap inside the gap. So what did I do instead? I said no. Not with drama, not with resentment. The people involved were doing their job within what their program could genuinely offer. But I said no. And then I asked myself a better question. If I'm going to invest in closing my specific ceiling, what would actually close it? Not a mindset framework, not a vision roadmap, not a sales system, production infrastructure. A specific audience, a channel built to demonstrate what I know in public, in real time, in a way that could travel beyond my current ecosystem. So I made a different investment entirely. I built the foundation of what you're watching right now. My own framework, built from real experience, named from my own observations, designed specifically for the creator who's already in the middle and can't find a single resource built for where they actually are. Turns out, I had to build what I was looking for, and that decision, that reallocation, is Watch Me Build Social. Before you invest in anything, do this one thing first. Write down the one specific structural problem you're trying to solve right now. Not your general goal, your specific ceiling, the exact thing in the way. Then look at everything being offered and ask, does every single piece of this actually solve that specific problem? Or does it solve a more general version of it? That question will guide you every time. The mid-tier creator's gap isn't a mindset gap. It isn't a systems gap. It isn't a sales gap. It's an amplification gap, and it needs a structural solution built specifically for that ceiling. That's what this channel is building, in public, in real time, from exactly where I am right now. And part 2 is where we go deeper, because the high-ticket coaching story is just one symptom of something much bigger happening in the creator economy right now. The model that elite creators built their empires on is starting to crack, and the mid-tier creator is better positioned than anyone to step into what comes next. Subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Hit the notification bell. And if this video names something you've been feeling but couldn't say, share it with the creator in your life who's about to hand over a significant investment to something that might not be built for their specific ceiling. They need to hear this first. I'm Lorraine. This is Watch Me Build Social. Watch me.